Last but certainly not least, Kyler Murray reportedly will not play without a new contract. This has been taking over all the sports world today. Kyler Murray is just waiting on that deal, and he might not play this year. Aaron, what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm going to take a deep sigh. I'm going to let the buzzer run out, and then I'm going to get into my real thoughts. Listen, I believe Kyler Murray. And I know this has been a hot topic all over the airwaves today. I believe Kyler Murray will not play another down unless he gets a new deal. Now, does that mean that the Arizona Cardinals are not going to give him one? I think eventually they budge here, but how long and at what cost, right? There was reports that his agent said that they had an offer on the table that they've now retracted, and now it's in Arizona's court. I guess the ball's in their court, I guess you can say, but there hasn't been much dialogue there. Look, Kyler Murray's trying to get ahead of the game on a contract extension, and I'm not mad at him. He's improved that team 2 years in a row. It's the NFL is changing, and I think this is another situation where we see it's changing. Teams are going to have to start paying players earlier and more money, and as simple as that. And NFL teams don't want to do it; they're all reluctant. But I don't see a situation here where you trade or you get rid of a Josh Rosen after you drafted him after 1 year. You get rid of a Steve Wilkes after 1 year. You go get Cliff Kingsbury and bring in the guy that they wanted to build this franchise around, and then you just let him go and you trade him or you don't get a deal done. I don't see that happening. But if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm a little bit concerned with the moves we've seen from Russell Wilson. And I know Arizona said they're not going to trade him. We've heard that before. And then, something happens and he's gone. So it's not a good thing, but I ultimately think Kyler Murray is back in the Arizona Cardinals uniform. And if not, maybe he plays baseball.
Oh, he got drafted by the A's, right?
He's still a draft pick by the A's. They still own his rights. And hey, with all the trading the A's have been doing, they could sure use him right about now. So, and again, he has a lot of leverage here, even though they have 2 years still on the deal. The players are getting more and more leverage each year, and I think Kyler Murray eventually will get paid. It's just about how Arizona wants to approach that.
AJ, let me ask you this question here, and I heard this mentioned today about Lamar Jackson. Obviously, he has not come out and said he's not going to play without a new deal. But if you're Kyler Murray, would you rather wait on Lamar's contract and then possibly get paid even more? Obviously, Kyler and Lamar are not on the same level. But the way the money world works is when someone else gets paid, it just keeps going higher and higher. If you're Kyler Murray, would you rather wait for Lamar to get his deal so you can make even more money?
I don't, because Lamar Jackson can be unpredictable in this. Lamar Jackson represents himself. Kyler Murray has an agent. So if Lamar Jackson decides, he's been really good with that organization, they've, for the most part, taken care of each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar Jackson decides to wait it out. With Kyler Murray, you have to remember this man has been injured each of the last 2 seasons. He's set to make $5.5 million on this upcoming deal. He's a guy that does need to get that financial security just before sooner than later. Let's also not forget who's one of his best friends in the NFL, Baker Mayfield, who just got, besides being bad, just got tossed out basically for having a bad shoulder and playing like trash for an entire year. What happens if Kyler gets injured, tries to play to prove it for a contract year, doesn't play as well, and they decide to do the same thing? This is a guy who, when he was drafted, that team had 3 wins at that point in time. They replaced a previous number 1 overall pick for him. And then since the last 3 seasons, they've improved by 3 wins each of the last years and made it to the playoffs last season. I think he deserves his money. I don't think he should wait. And I wouldn't be surprised if he holds out to the exact last possible minute before he actually does make a decision.
Okay.
AJ, I didn't. Or no, Vinny. I'm sorry. Vinny's the one who said it, and AJ kind of answered it. But I don't think Kyler Murray waiting on Lamar Jackson does anything to the quarterback market. He's not going to get as much as Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's an MVP. Lamar Jackson has a playoff win. Lamar Jackson has more accomplishments than a Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has seen a Josh Allen get a deal. He's seen a Derek Carr, a Dak Prescott. That is the realm in which Kyler Murray is going to get his deal. He's going to be compared more to Dak Prescott and Derek Carr than he is going to be Lamar Jackson. And the reason being is he doesn't have the accomplishments. He can't go to the front office and say, hey, I've won an MVP. Hey, I've led the league in touchdown passes. He hasn't done any of that yet. Lamar Jackson has. So Lamar Jackson has more leverage, obviously, within his organization. But I think this is more about Kyler Murray just wanting to get a big deal. And whatever that number is, I'm sure it's upwards of about 40 million, which is what the quarterbacks are sitting at with Derek Carr and Dak Prescott. Arizona's probably still thinking, are we sure this is our guy? And maybe for a couple of reasons. Maybe it is an injury issue. Maybe it's the fact that they feel like he's been beat up over the past 2 seasons. He's a smaller quarterback. Can he sustain? And if we can't see him growing just in the pass game, where maybe his legs are no longer a threat, is this the guy we want to pay for our future? Now, I'm saying he should get paid. Like, he's an amazing thrower of the football. Get an offensive line, protect him, and see what he can do. But maybe they're not on that same page. Maybe they're now having second thoughts about how long he can actually sustain success in the NFL because of his body type.
And real quick, they need to look upwards in that coaching staff and in that front office and things of that nature. I'm not saying there's no blame on Kyler Murray, but there's something that needs to be done when you watch a team that starts as hot as they did for the past 2 seasons and then just fizzle completely, like cold turkey style. The next day woke up and didn't look like they could play football for the second half of the season. That's something a coach has to be able to get yourselves over the top with. So it's not all on Kyler Murray either. There are other things at play here. He's a fantastic quarterback, and something needs to be worked out at the very least. If it's not, we are paying you right this moment.
Yep. I'm on Team Kyler. Just to let you guys know, I am on Team Kyler here. Get your bag.